Hi friends, today's automotive adventure is going to be particularly enjoyable for a number of reasons. There's a family that we're friends with, and their son, who is maybe 15, 16 years old, a year ago asked me if I would help him build his first car. So I thought, that's a great honor to help a young man get into learning cars, and his first car, super cool. So I asked him a few questions. First, what kind of car does he want? What does he envision? He had some ideas, but not real sure. And I asked Mom, is it important for her to have something with airbags? And she said, yeah. So that puts us in the 90s. 90s or newer. And I asked him, does he have any money? And he said, no, not right now. So, okay, so we're not quite ready to tackle a car project. Fast forward a year, and his grandmother has gifted him a car. I know a little about the car. We're going to go check it out today. That's what's fun about it. So we're going to check it out. This is what I know. It's a Camaro. I think it's in the 90s or newer. And it's been off the road for some time. I don't know why. I think maybe off the road 10 years, maybe more. It's moved to a few different hands. And right now it's sitting in his grandmother's backyard in the grass. So that's what I know. At the end of the day, we may just end up with a list of here's what it needs to get it on the road. And then we'll decide how involved do I want to be with making that happen. But I told him, yeah, I would help him build his first car. So we'll see what that is. So I'm going to get some tools ready. Hugh, and we're here with the car. So we're going to dig into the car here in a minute. But first I want to know about you, Hugh. Tell me, how old are you? 16. And what's the status with your driver's license? Permit. All right. So you're getting your license, and how many hours you got? 30. So in Michigan you need 60 or 50 hours and you get your driver's license and potentially your car. Are you into cars?
A little bit.
A little bit. What do you know about cars?
Car brands, a little bit of stuff that goes into the engine. That's it.
Okay. Well, tell me a little bit about how this car came into your life. You know, what's the story?
So great grandmother had this car, and I don't know what she did with it, but then at some point she gave it to my uncle, who just never used it, and he never wanted it anymore. So instead of just selling it off, he gave it to me. I have to fix it up.
And do you know, does it work? Do you know what's wrong with it? Okay. Neither do I. So do you know what year it is?
I think it's a
98. Okay. In addition to finding out why the car is off the road, we need to figure out what it takes to get it back on the road. So really we're on an evaluation mission today. So, I mean, great vision would be that, months from now you're driving this car. We'll also have to figure out the cost that it's going to take to get it back on the road. Right? Have you saved any money yet? A little bit. Okay, saving money. And, all right, so let's jump into it. So this is my first time seeing the car too. So one thing that's always a neat thing is you look at the tag, and the tag says 2011 was the last time the car was registered. So it's probably been off the road 14 years. Does that kind of jive with what you thought? Yeah, so start to walk around it. We got flat tires, as you'd expect, weather checked, they're dry rotted. So, right off the bat, you're gonna need tires. So that's, we see in the car, yeah. We got flat tires here. The body's not in bad shape, it's not crashed, that's good. All four tires are flat. I like to take a look at the rotors to see how rusty are the rotors are pretty rusty. I mean, if it hasn't been driven for 14 years, the rotors are going to be really rusty. The biggest thing, I think, once we start to figure out what's wrong with it, why it's not running, we'll also need to look underneath and evaluate, are the brake lines rotted? Even if the car ran, what kind of investment would you be looking at to get it running and driving and roadworthy again? You need tires, so... but the car itself isn't in bad shape. The car's not in bad shape. So why don't we Why don't we start evaluating? Where do you think we should start to evaluate this car?
Under the hood.
Under the hood? Yeah, that's a good place to start. Yep, so let's do that. All right, go ahead and pop that hood there. What do we have? It's a 3800 series. It's a V6. And a lot of rust under here, which you'd expect from a car that's just been sitting for this long. So the oil. See all that? It looks like a milkshake. The battery in here is from 2021. The car hasn't been registered since 2011, but the battery's from 2021. So somebody did maybe try. I heard that your uncle tried getting it going, but couldn't. Is that what you heard? Let's check out fluids. Take a look. This is the transmission. Usually, you can smell as it burns. So does it smell burned or doesn't smell burned? What do you think?
Not really.
Yeah. It has transmission fluid. That's good. Brake fluid. See, does it even have any brake fluid? It's hard to see. Does it? I think something we'd want to evaluate. I'll grab the flashlight. Is just look underneath and see what the shape of the, like the brake lines, are they rusted out, or how's it look underneath? Like a general look at that. So we can start to see underneath. It looks like it's probably been parked in tall grass. I mean, look at the rust. There's a fair amount of rust from sitting. What I really want to see is like brake lines. I can turn this thing up a notch. We'd have to look from the side, but you see, in terms of some rust. See right on top, there's like a little line that's got ribs on it over there. That's a brake line. It doesn't look terrible, but it's like along where they run along the car that we'd want to see. The rust, especially in Michigan, you get rust from the salt, but rust from sitting in tall grass it just really does a number on cars, and it's just sometimes not worth fixing when you got tons of rust repair. We should see, go check the brake pedal and see does it have any travel, or does it go right to the floor? Let's just see, does it go right to the floor, or does it have any kind of... Does it go right to the floor, or does it feel like it has brakes? I mean, like it actually some resistance.
I don't feel any resistance. And this is as far as it goes.
Yeah. Sometimes the thing to do is fill up the brake fluid as well and push it and see if there's streams coming out underneath. You'll know you got a leak right away. But I know it has T-tops. It has T-tops. Does it smell in there like they've been leaking? How's it smell in there? Like musty?
It smells like old car.
You know what, though? It does not smell like the T-top's been leaking. Yeah, maybe there's some water running down the side there. Actually, the brake actually has some travel. How many miles are on it? Do we know? Can't. It's probably a digital gauge there. You can't see. It's not. All right. See if we can get this crankshaft. So you get the engine to turn at all, just to. It is it is not turned out. Could be that's the reason the car's parked, because the engine's locked up. Could just be from sitting. We saw there's moisture in the engine. The pistons could just be sort of rusted in place. So I also bought some fogging oil. So I bought some of this fogging oil. I thought we could take the spark plugs out, spray some fogging oil in there, see if we can lubricate and loosen up the pistons, the rings, if the rings are sort of stuck in place. So we'll give that a shot. Kind of get us set up here. Okay. Okay, first spark plug, look at it. It's not supposed to look like that. See if I can get that next one out. Maybe you can go that way a little bit because of our camera. Both of them come out with a lot of junk in them, like oil and debris and carbon and junk. It comes off, but it's a little scary what is going on inside there. We'll see if we can get all 6 out and then spray that fogging oil down there, see if we can loosen the engine up. If it is just rusted from sitting versus that's the reason it's sitting here, you know. So I'll put this hose into where the spark plug hole is and then squirt that fogging oil down in there. Yeah, that is frozen up. So we got 3 spark plugs out, got some oil down there. We could see about getting more out and putting more oil down there. See if our lubricant might have had any effect. That is not moving a bit. All right, well, I think that until we have further information, what did we learn today?
Where spark plugs are.
You learned where spark plugs are, yeah. Okay.
Time cost ratio.
Super important for any project.
And
what did we learn about this car?
it's been sitting for a while.
Sitting for a while.
And
The engine's not moving. So it could be locked up. So, all right. Well, let's see if we can get our tools. I lost some tools, and we'll just bundle it up. Sound good?
Yeah.
Well, it's actually been a couple weeks since Q and I have been here. Life. But what's our number one objective here, Q, today?
To see if the engine turns.
Yeah, to see if the engine turns over. So last time we didn't really have adequate tools. We didn't have leverage. So we stopped and got a 24 millimeter socket. We're going to use all the leverage we can on that crankshaft just to see if the engine will rotate at all. So yeah, let's do that. So lean over from this corner and make sure that fits on the crankshaft bolt. You'll see it down in there. Does it fit on there?
Yeah.
Okay. Now this, actually, we're going to go with a different breaker bar first. This breaker bar has been abused, so you see this little bearing here? That's what holds the tool on. This one doesn't have it because I've abused it. So first try it on this one. And just put it on there and go righty-tighty and just see, can you get any movement out of that at all? Nothing at all? Okay. So you can take it off. We're going to use the ultimate leverage. See, that one doesn't fit in there. So we're going to have to use this one, which means the socket's going to want to fall off. See what I mean? So you're going to have to get all your arms working. You want me to put it on there? You got it? Okay. This is going to fall out and this is going to fall off. So take the whole thing. You got to kind of lean and get the whole thing on there. And you got to have enough room to, I'll lift the hood up. That's about as high as it can go. See, can you get any movement out of that? That engine is not moving at all, is it? No, that's about it. We're not getting any movement out of the engine at all. Yeah, that crankshaft is not budging at all. We had taken 3 spark plugs out and lubed them. There's 3 we just couldn't get to for whatever, just couldn't get to them, couldn't get our hands on them. Okay. Now we know that when we pulled the dipstick tube out, the oil looked like milkshake. Now I wanted to open up the radiator to see if it looked. It's just empty. It actually, look at it, it looks like usually a radiator. Now it could have had, you want to taste? Yeah. This inside the radiator is not supposed to be brown. It's either, it could be oil from, like I told you, if we have a bad head gasket or a cracked head and the oil and coolant are mixing, that will give you that milkshake look in the oil. And you could have oil in the coolant. This could be either oil in the coolant, or it could have been a product they call bars leak, where you put it's a product you put in the radiator to plug a leak. It could look like that too. Bars leak could look like that, but the coolant is not supposed to look like that. So it doesn't taste like coolant or oil, or, I mean, it smells like coolant, but it doesn't taste like anything at all. Thank you, sir. Okay, so this was the big thing we needed to test, is can this engine rotate at all? Because now what you have to consider is, if it needs an engine, is a car worth, if the engine started or ran bad, then fixing the rest of the car up is one thing. But if you need an engine and you got to fix the car up, you got to decide, is that a worthy investment for you? So what do you think would be like a next step?
Maybe like going online or somewhere, or like looking at prices for like a restored one or something like that.
Yeah, like one of these. What do these cars go for? Yeah.
And then like compare that to like other things that need to be fixed to look
Yeah.
at the prices.
Yeah, that's one. Well, that wasn't a story with a happy ending. At least not yet, anyway. Q and I looked at some Camaros on Facebook to see, what does it cost to get a comparable vehicle? We saw really 3 different groups of Camaros when you look at the 99. So you've got cars from $10,000 to $20,000 that are in super nice condition and garage kept and really great cars. Then you've got the $4,000 to $6,000 range. Nothing necessarily wrong with them. Good driving car, everything's functional, that type of thing. And then there's the $1,200 to $1,600 range. These are cars, either they have a bad engine, saw some with blown head gaskets or locked up, bad transmission, really three different groups. So I talked to him about that, the cost differential of trying to put this car back together versus starting out with one that's maybe in a different place. Back at Q's house, I talked to him and his dad together and gave basically my analysis. I'm deducing that the car probably had a blown head gasket or maybe a cracked head. So my advice to him was this. If you got a car that needs an engine, but everything else is in good working order, that could be a good investment. Or if you had a car that it runs and drives, but it's been sitting for a while and it needs rubber parts and brakes and the tires and basically a put back together, that could be a good investment. But a car that needs both, it's been sitting and needs all that investment and an engine, it's a tough place to start from to sink your money into. Q's dad said his grandma was the original owner, so there's sentimental value. They may want to keep the car, and we'll see where it goes from there. Ultimately, I was invited into somebody else's automotive adventure, which is really cool. Help a young man understand cars and think about his first car and where he's going to go with it. So thank you for joining us on this automotive adventure, and look forward to seeing you on the next one.